Hi everyone, it's Michael Bidwell here. I'm a solicitor at Herbert Smith Freehills.
Hello, my name is Princess Avia and I'm a proud Samoan woman.
Hi, my name is Chantal. I'm Canadian born, have Indo-Fijian background, but I live in Australia.
Hi, my name is Linda Cho and I'm a 1.5 generation Australian Korean.
Hello, my name is Janita Balic. I am from a small country called Bosnia and Herzegovina.
My name is Ashley Do Rosario and I am legally blind as a result of a rare autoimmune condition. I also am permanently immunosuppressed due to the medical treatment I require to keep my vision stable.
Hi everyone, my name is Razaik and I am a former refugee from Afghanistan.
Hi, my name is Evelina Tarago and I'm a Wonkamatla woman from Central West Queensland, where the Simpson Desert comes into Queensland.
Hello, my name is Olamide Kowalik. I'm with the African Australian Lawyers Network and I currently consult with Revolution Law.
I began studying law in 2014 and I've done part-time studies over the past couple of years.
I'm a lawyer and an educator, a facilitator. I work in the diversity and inclusion space, though I've been admitted to practice for 5 years.
It has definitely been a journey, and I'd say that for the first 6 years, I wasn't able to find a place where I really belonged, and navigating the law profession and just studies was a bit tough for me.
I'm a National Director and the President of the Queensland chapter of Pride in Law, a legal networking association focused on including the LGBTQ+ community in the legal profession.
I do identify as being part of the rainbow community. I'm not straight, so I do hold a bit of a flush when it comes to diversity.
Once I joined my Pasifika Law Association of Queensland 2 years ago, I can tell you that my passion and my love for law changed.
I'm a First Nations barrister and one of only 2 women at the private bar in Queensland.
I come from a minority ethnic group called the Hazaras, and I moved to Australia in 2010. I finished my studies at QUT at the end of 2019 and I was the Associate to His Honour Judge David Reid of District Court last year. I'm currently at Legal Aid Queensland.
I am a litigation lawyer at Potts Lawyers. I am also a founding member of the Queensland Law Society's Diverse Abilities Network and a member of the Queensland Law Society's Equity and Diversity Committee.
I came to Australia in 1996 after the 4-year war ended in my country. I came here with little to essentially no English.
I was born in South Korea and I immigrated with my parents at a young age to come to Australia without knowing a word of English.
I started working for the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in 2005 and I finished my law degree in 2004.
I was fortunate enough to be able to learn the language from scratch because I was so young and had the benefit of Play School and The Lion King.
I'm currently also the Chair of Diversity at Women Lawyers Association of Queensland, and I'm also on the Diversity Committee of the Bar Association of Queensland.
I'm currently a criminal lawyer at Robertson O'Gorman Solicitors, and I'm really fortunate for all the experiences that I was able to live so I can help the clients that I represent now.
When I first started my career some time ago, I was actually told that my sexuality would hold back my career, and I also received some pretty discouraging comments that made me question whether I should be in the profession. After a few years, I actually met Dean Clifford Jones, the founder of Pride in Law, and it was whether it was fate or what happened there, but it was really good because I found a place for me to express these experiences and truly feel like I could actually generate some change.
My journey as a lawyer was almost very naturally gravitational because of the experiences that I had as a child, having grown up in a war-torn country. Naturally interested in the prosecution of those who committed heinous crimes against members of my community. So it was natural for me to, of course, be attracted to the prosecutional sphere of the law. My journey, both as a student and as a lawyer, was a little different because I thought I spoke differently, and more crucially, I thought differently. But it is because of those differences that I thought and in fact discerned very quickly that I could use those differences as an asset both for me and as an asset to the enrichment of our legal profession at large.
Before I joined the society, I didn't know exactly where I belonged, and I knew I did belong within the law profession, but embracing my differences was something that was a little bit tough for me. But once I joined the society, I was able to find other people who could really understand the background and some of the differences that I have. For us Pasifika people, our culture is very important to us, and there are some values that we hold very dear to our hearts, such as our family and our faith, and just a big community of people. And there's a few different responsibilities that we have sometimes when we're studying law. It can also include going to lots of family events. Eating a lot is another thing we like to do. But sometimes balancing that with my law studies and working, it was a bit tough to see, am I the only one that is dealing with some of these struggles? And once I did join the Law Society, the Pasifika Law Society, I realized that there were other people within my profession that I will hopefully be a part of soon, that were able to not just survive, but to thrive.
I started off in this industry as a legal secretary, working for two of the top tier firms in Brisbane City before relocating to the Gold Coast. I acquired a certain level of skills and experience to then become a paralegal, and it was during this time that I started to become symptomatic. Within 2.5 years, I rapidly lost my functioning eyesight and became legally blind. I was very fortunate to be supported by some wonderful work colleagues who, rather than focusing on my disability, they focused on my diverse abilities. For me, while my vision may be impaired, I have excellent hearing and listening skills and a wonderfully retentive memory. I am also good at creative thinking and problem solving, and I believe these skills are honed due to the everyday challenges I face because of my vision impairment.
Diversity is really important to me and has affected my entry into the career, and because of that I've taken steps through the Indigenous Lawyers Association in particular to change the profession, much needed change, to include not only Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, but encourage diversity amongst other marginalised groups. And a lot of the time Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are encompassed in those other groups as well. So it's further vulnerabilities for our community.
I was fortunate enough with my work to travel to regional and remote communities within far north Queensland. During this time, being a female lawyer from a culturally and linguistically diverse background really assisted me to be able to connect on a deeper level with a lot of our First Nations people, because I could understand the difficulties, only a few of those difficulties, but I still could appreciate the barriers they face because English wasn't their first language and because of the cultural barriers that exist. I think this is an absolute strength that people who have lived experiences from diverse backgrounds is able to bring to the legal profession.
Diversity to me is about inclusion, a truer reflection of the society we're part of. No longer half a picture, but really the whole picture. Working towards what connects us and not what separates us. A mirror into society, a reflection of us. Not just about the majority, but the minority, the marginalised, the voiceless, and so on. An opportunity to be part of the narrative, to be part of the conversation, to be counted really.
Our profession needs to reflect the diversity of the communities that we represent and serve. Australia is becoming increasingly a diverse and multicultural country. Having more diverse representation in the legal profession is incredibly vital going forward. Research suggests that organisations that value diversity and have a culture of inclusion are able to recruit and retain high-performing staff, improve productivity and performance, and increase organisational competitiveness and growth.
I think diversity is quite important because it celebrates intersectionality. So we're all very complex individuals with intersecting identities. And while it's incredibly important to have groups that you can identify those cultural nuances or special interests or facets of your identity, I believe it's even more important to then recognize the strength that we share between all of those.
The reason why diversity is important is because I genuinely considered quitting the profession, and no one should ever feel like that. And I think the biggest thing for me is that everyone deserves to be in this profession.
Not only for those who think that they do not have a place in this profession, because they do, and they should, and they will, but also for those who think and speak differently, who are currently members of our profession. They should want to be members who are held in high esteem and to be treated no differently to every other member of our legal profession.
Unfortunately, for a lot of members of our community who come from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds, they feel as though the law and the justice system is not there to protect them or to afford them the rights that the average Australian has. Although this may be a misconception, unfortunately, a lot of people from vulnerable backgrounds do see themselves in this position.
Diversity in the profession in particular is so important because it's through our lived experiences that give us the compassion, the empathy, but also the understanding of where the law is applied. It's really important to show in every jurisdiction where diversity matters and how you can use the tools from those lived experiences in those marginalised communities in particular to advance your case. And the more that we see diversity across the profession, the better profession that we're going to be.
Diversity brings different experiences and talents to the workplace and into our profession. It leads to a greater variety of perspectives, enhanced creativity, and often an array of potential resolutions to the many problems that we come across in our daily practice. Not only does diversity combat discrimination and people's unconscious biases in the workplace, in the profession, and within our legal system, it promotes equality.
It has completely changed my outlook with studying law because initially I thought that once I got to about second year, I honestly thought that maybe law wasn't for me. Maybe I didn't fit in. But once I did join the society, it was just an exposure to seeing people who had similar responsibilities to me, similar perspectives and views, who were able to empower me to see that there is a place for me and there was also a place for you. And I think that's why I really believe that diversity is such an important thing, because embracing what makes you different is a good thing.
It means that where decisions are being made, there is representation of those that it will affect. Where I not only have a voice, but really I'm encouraged to use that voice. Where what I bring to the table is valued. Where we don't focus on our differences, but really what connects us.
I think diversity is just so important, especially in our legal profession, because if it's not celebrated and acknowledged, a lot of these people feel as though they don't have a seat at the table.
Recruiting and retaining staff from diverse and multicultural communities only adds to our strength, because our strength is in our diversity. So let's embrace this strength.
I often say that the profession should reflect the community that it serves. And I also often say that you cannot be what you cannot see, but sometimes you have to be it, and you have to be brave. And there's going to be people on the sidelines watching you in the ring, judging you, but they're not the ones getting in the ring, so don't ever listen to them, because you are definitely deserving to be in this profession.
Diversity is just not one group, but many groups to form one. A world where my children my grandchildren, and future generations have access to information and opportunities, working towards a level playing field wherever they find themselves in the line.
It is therefore very important that our profession appropriately reflects the community it serves. It's as simple as that.
So diversity for me is actually just the beginning. It's just the beginning of understanding how learning about experiences different than our own can make us better informed individuals, make us better organizations, help us provide better products, services to clients, customers, friends, families, and allies. So diversity is just the beginning. And if you ask me why diversity, I'd ask you, why not?
So it is important for us to remember as a legal community that the enrichment of different views, in fact, is a benefit not only to each and every one of us, but to you as a legal profession. And most importantly, we should be striving for a profession that reflects the entire world.